Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're taking a look at the world of Indian healthcare,
Oh, yeah.
focusing on Narayana Health and Aster DM Healthcare.
All right.
You gave me a pretty big stack of reports to go through.
Huh?
Narayana Health's annual report 2023-24, Aster DM Healthcare's integrated annual report for fiscal year 2023-24,
Okay.
and even Aster's ESG report.
So, like, getting a look behind the curtain for two totally different healthcare systems.
Exactly.
And we get a little bonus look at Aster's sustainability efforts, too.
All right, so what's the plan for today? Are we trying to figure out who is the best?
Well, I'm not sure best is the right word, but we can for sure compare how well they're doing.
You okay?
And we can definitely see which one looks like it's going to grow more.
Right.
It's kind of like we're putting together a fantasy healthcare team, and we want to find out who has the best stats
Okay.
and who has the right game plan to win it all.
I like that.
Yeah.
So where should we start? Maybe the financials.
Yeah, that's usually a good indicator of how well a company is doing overall.
Nice.
Let's take a look at Narayana Health first.
Okay.
They're reporting some pretty impressive numbers.
Okay.
Their revenue is over 50 billion INR.
50 billion. That's a lot.
Yeah, with a B,
Wow.
billion.
That's a lot of money.
And their EBITDA margin is a strong 24.5%.
Okay, now remind me.
Yeah.
What is EBITDA margin again?
Good point.
I know it's important, but...
Sometimes we just use words that people don't really know what they mean.
Right.
Basically, EBITDA margin shows how much profit a company makes for every dollar of revenue
All right.
after taking out things like interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
Right.
It gives you a clearer picture of their core profitability.
Okay.
So a 24.5% EBITDA margin for Narayana means they're keeping a big chunk of their earnings.
Right. So making good money and keeping most of it.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Uh-huh.
What about Aster?
Oh, they're not doing too bad either.
Oh.
Aster DM Healthcare's India division is also reporting strong numbers.
Okay.
They had a 24% year-over-year increase in revenue, which is actually pretty impressive given the current state of the economy, and their operating EBITDA jumped by 30%.
Okay, so both of them are doing well financially.
Yes.
It sounds like they're both good picks for our fantasy healthcare team.
I'd say so.
Are they doing things the same way, though?
That is a good question.
Yeah, do their reports show any differences in how they do things?
That's where things get interesting.
Okay.
Both of them are doing great money-wise,
Uh-huh.
but they seem to have different approaches to healthcare and growth.
Okay.
Narayana Health, for example, really stresses making healthcare affordable,
Okay.
so making sure everyone can get good healthcare.
Right.
Their CEO, Dr. Devi Shetty, was even recognized recently for his work in making healthcare affordable.
Oh, very cool.
Their revenue is probably so high because they're helping so many patients.
Yeah, keep the costs low,
Uh-huh.
reach more patients,
Yep.
and you'll make more money.
Exactly.
So it's like the Walmart of healthcare.
Uh-huh. High volume,
Yeah.
low margins. Yeah.
Now, Aster DM Healthcare, on the other hand,
Okay.
seems to be focusing on something a little bit different.
Okay.
Their India division has a 20.3% operating EBITDA margin
Right.
when you don't count hospitals that operate under the O&M model.
Okay.
This might mean their core hospital business is more about specialized care,
Right.
maybe even higher margin services.
So they're not trying to be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
They're focusing on certain things, and they can charge more for that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this brings us to our next point,
Okay.
innovation and specialization.
Gotcha.
Narayana Health's annual report is full of details about all the advanced medical stuff they're doing.
Oh, okay.
They're doing procedures I can barely say,
Really?
let alone understand
Yeah.
things like robotic ampulectomy
Okay.
and sutureless aortic valve replacement.
Wow.
It's like they're pushing the boundaries of what's possible in medicine.
Like from a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Robotic ampulectomy.
Right. I can't even imagine how precise you have to be for that.
Right.
So they're trying to be the best at these really complex procedures.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Trying to get patients who need the absolute best, most advanced treatments.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these medical achievements aren't just impressive.
Right.
They show a strategic focus on really specialized cardiac care.
Okay.
Think of it like dominating a niche market.
Aye.
They're becoming known for doing the really hard cases that other hospitals can't handle.
They're like the Navy SEALs of the healthcare world.
Exactly.
All right. Well, what about Aster? Are they just doing the basic stuff?
Aster might not be doing robotic ampulectomies,
Okay.
but they are definitely building a name for themselves in specialized care.
Oh.
Through their network of centers of excellence. They're focusing on things like oncology, orthopedics, and women's and children's health.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they're not focusing on just one really specific thing.
Yeah.
They're building a whole system of different specialties.
That's a great way to put it.
Like a healthcare mall. One-stop shopping for all your medical needs.
Haha. Exactly.
Okay, so both hospitals are specializing, but in different ways.
Yeah.
Narayana's going deep on cardiac care.
Uh-huh.
Aster's going broad with different specialties.
Right.
But they're both trying to get patients who need that extra level of care.
Exactly.
So they're playing different games, but with the same goal in mind.
Exactly.
All right, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Now, what about the digital world?
Yeah, the digital revolution.
It's changing everything.
It really is.
And healthcare is no exception.
No.
Both Narayana and Aster talk about using digital tools.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, how are they actually using technology to improve how they work and ultimately take care of patients?
That's what really matters.
Right.
It's not just about having the newest gadgets.
Right.
It's about using technology strategically
Okay.
to work better,
Yeah.
streamline processes, and provide the best possible care.
Okay, so what are they doing? Are they building robot doctors or something?
Haha, not quite yet.
Okay.
But they are coming up with some really cool solutions.
Right.
Narayana Health, for instance, has these mobile apps called ATHM.
Okay.
They're made just for doctors and nurses.
Okay.
And they say these apps help them work better
Okay.
by automating tasks and making communication easier.
Okay, so it's practical,
Yeah.
not super flashy,
Uh-huh.
but could actually make a big difference.
For sure.
Do they give any examples of how these apps are actually helping?
They do.
Okay.
They talk about their AADI Doctor app,
Uh-huh.
which they say has made their consultants 17% more efficient.
17%? That's huge.
That's like giving doctors back 17% of their day. More
Uh-huh.
time for patients,
Yeah.
more time for consultations, or even just a break.
Uh-huh, right?
So Narayana is definitely focused on using tech to make their staff work better and streamline their processes.
So they're basically giving superpowers to their medical staff.
Haha, pretty much.
Okay, well, what about Aster? Are they doing something similar?
Aster is also on board with this digital transformation thing,
Okay.
but their focus is a bit different.
All right.
They're using technology to be better for the environment.
Oh, okay.
Their report talks about how their digital initiatives have cut their paper use in half.
Wow.
So they're going paperless,
Yeah.
one digital signature at a time.
Right, trying to be green.
Yeah,
That's pretty impressive.
it is. And it fits with their strong focus on ESG, environmental, social, and governance, which we'll get to later.
Gotcha.
But the point is, both hospitals understand how powerful technology can be in healthcare.
Yeah.
They're just using it in different ways.
All right, so we talked about financials, how they're specializing, and their use of technology.
Yeah,
Both Narayana Health and Aster DM Healthcare are doing some amazing things.
they really are.
But what about the future? Who's going to grow more?
Now that's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
That's what we'll look at next time we dive in.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're still digging into the Indian healthcare scene.
Yep.
With Narayana Health and Aster DM Healthcare.
Right.
We've looked at their finances, how they're specializing, and how they're using technology.
Right.
Now, the question is,
Yeah.
which one is going to grow more?
Exactly. It's like we're trying to predict who's going to win the race.
Right.
Who's got the best strategy to get ahead.
Okay.
Let's start with Aster DM Healthcare.
All right.
They've got some pretty ambitious expansion plans.
Okay.
They're increasing bed capacity
Okay.
and moving into new regions like Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu.
Those are big places, right? Lots of people
Exactly. They're going where the demand for healthcare is high.
following the population growth.
Right.
Smart.
And they even have specific goals.
Okay.
For example, they want increased bed capacity at their MedCity and CMI hospitals
Okay.
to over 950 and 850 beds, respectively.
Wow, that's a lot of beds.
They're also working on new projects in Trivandrum and Kasaragod.
So expanding their reach even further. Sounds like they're building a healthcare empire.
Haha, you could say that.
So what about Narayana Health? Are they happy with their current size?
Narayana Health's report doesn't really lay out specific expansion plans,
Okay.
but their actions tell us a lot.
Right.
Remember how well they're doing financially
Yeah.
and their focus on being efficient?
Uh-huh.
Those things suggest they're ready to grow.
Right. They're running a tight ship,
Exactly.
making the most of what they have.
Yeah, Zach.
They could be a big advantage when they want to expand.
Definitely.
It's like they're getting ready for something big.
Yeah, and they're not just sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
They're making strategic moves,
Like what?
setting up new subsidiaries,
Okay.
like Narayana Health North America, LLC,
Okay.
and AFMA Health Tech Private Limited.
So they're not just expanding physically.
Nope.
They're looking at new areas for growth.
Exactly.
Like they're playing 3D chess or something.
Uh-huh. That's a good way to put it.
All right, so both hospitals are showing signs of growth,
Yeah.
but they're doing it in different ways. Aster's making big moves. Narayana's being more careful and trying different things.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
But growth isn't just about getting bigger.
Right.
It's also about making sure you can keep growing.
Like building a skyscraper.
Yeah.
You need a strong foundation.
Exactly.
So let's talk about sustainability.
Okay.
Making sure they can last in the long run.
Absolutely.
And when we talk about sustainability,
Yeah.
Aster DM Healthcare is really taking the lead. They have a whole report dedicated to ESG.
Right. Environmental, social, and governance.
They've got a plan to reduce their environmental impact, focusing on renewable energy, saving water, and managing waste.
They're not just building more hospitals.
Right.
They're building them with the planet in mind.
Do they have any specific goals or achievements?
Oh, yeah. They've already reduced water intensity by 2%.
Okay.
And they're recycling more than 95% of their wastewater. Plus, they're getting 28% of their energy from renewable sources.
Very cool.
And they want to increase that even more.
They're not just talking about it.
Nope.
They're actually doing it.
Exactly.
Trying to be the greenest healthcare provider out there.
It's a great effort.
Now, Narayana Health doesn't have a separate ESG report,
Right.
but that doesn't mean they're not thinking about sustainability.
No, not at all.
Their annual report mentions things like
Yeah.
employee well-being,
Uh-huh.
following labor laws,
Okay.
and working on energy efficiency and renewable energy.
So they are doing things.
Yeah.
They're just not making a big deal about it.
Right.
They mentioned some specific things they've done.
Okay.
Like using renewable energy sources for 26% of their energy needs.
Right.
And they've got programs for employee well-being,
Okay.
making sure it's a good place to work.
So both hospitals are committed to sustainability.
Yes.
They're just showing it in different ways.
Uh-huh.
Aster's making it a big part of their brand. Narayana's just quietly doing it.
Right.
But they both want to create a more sustainable healthcare system.
Exactly.
Now, there's another part of sustainability.
Okay.
Financial sustainability.
Right. Making sure they can afford to keep doing what they're doing.
Healthcare is expensive.
It is.
You need a lot of money for buildings, technology, and staff.
It's a big investment.
So how are these hospitals making sure they can keep growing?
Yeah, and keep operating in the long run.
Well, Narayana Health is doing really well financially.
They
They're
are.
good at managing costs and being efficient,
Uh-huh.
making the most of their money.
They're not wasting anything.
That's really important in healthcare.
It is. The margins can be pretty tight.
Like they're doing financial judo,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
using leverage and strategy to get the most impact. What about Aster DM Healthcare? Are they good with money too?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh.
Their financial report shows they're in a good spot.
Okay.
They've been working on reducing costs, making their financial foundation even stronger,
So they both seem to be on solid financial ground. They do.
which is really important in the healthcare world.
It is. It's a complex market.
Yeah.
And they need to be able to adapt and keep going.
So they're both doing well financially.
Yeah.
They've got innovative strategies,
Wow.
and they're committed to sustainability.
It's what makes them so interesting.
Yeah.
They're great examples of how healthcare is changing in India.
No,
Yeah.
we can't forget about the people.
Right. The human element.
Healthcare is about people taking care of people.
At its core, it is.
Hospitals are more than just buildings and numbers.
Yes.
They're full of skilled professionals,
Doctors, nurses,
technicians,
administrators
all working together.
to provide the best care possible.
So how are these hospitals attracting, retaining, and developing the talent they need?
That's a big question,
It is.
especially in such a fast-growing industry.
Right. Everyone needs skilled healthcare workers.
The demand is high.
It's like a competition for talent.
It is. So what are Narayana Health and Aster DM Healthcare doing to win?
Well, they both know that investing in their workforce is key.
Makes sense.
Narayana Health, for instance, really emphasizes training and development.
Okay.
They want to make sure their staff is always up to date.
Right, keeping up with the latest advancements.
Exactly.
So they're not just hiring people,
Oh, yeah.
they're helping them grow.
Yeah, it's like a culture of continuous learning.
And they're addressing specific challenges,
Akkwit.
like the shortage of nurses.
Right.
They're doing things to attract and keep nurses.
They're essential.
Yeah, the backbone of any healthcare system.
Exactly.
What about Aster DM Healthcare? Are they focusing on workforce development too?
Absolutely. They highlight their training programs.
Okay.
designed to give their employees the skills they need.
Right, so they're not just throwing them in the deep end.
Nope.
Giving them the training and support they need.
Exactly, making sure they're ready.
It's like they're building a healthcare army.
Haha. Ready to fight disease?
Okay, so we've talked about a lot. Expansion plans, sustainability, finances, and workforce development.
It's all connected.
And it's clear that both Narayana Health and Aster DM Healthcare are thinking about the big picture.
They are.
They're not just trying to get bigger, they're trying to get better, stronger, and more sustainable.
Exactly.
And as we move into the final part of our deep dive, we'll take all these insights and see what they mean for the future of healthcare in India.
What can we learn from these two companies?
Right, and what does their success tell us about how healthcare is changing?
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've spent the last two parts really getting to know Narayana Health and Aster DM Healthcare.
Yeah, their financials, their strategies.
Their commitment to sustainability.
Workforce development, the whole picture.
It's been quite a journey.
It has.
But now we need to zoom out a little.
Okay.
What does all this tell us about the future of healthcare in India?
Yeah, we've been so focused on these two. It's easy to forget they're just part of something much bigger.
Yeah, the whole healthcare landscape is changing in India.
Exactly, and it's one of the fastest growing economies in the world.
Right.
What's really interesting is that both Narayana and Aster, even though they do things differently, they seem to be pointing to a similar future.
Okay.
One where healthcare isn't just about treating people when they're sick.
Right.
It's about creating a system that's more holistic, sustainable, and accessible for everyone.
So it's not just about building more hospitals.
Right.
It's about changing how we think about healthcare.
Exactly. A change in mindset for both providers and patients.
And what's driving this change?
Well, a few things.
Okay.
Incomes are rising.
Okay.
People are more aware of health issues.
Uh-huh.
There's a growing middle class that wants better care.
Yeah.
And people are realizing that the old way of doing healthcare just isn't going to work anymore.
It's like a healthcare renaissance.
I like that.
Moving away from just reacting to illness.
Yeah.
And towards preventing it in the first place.
That's a great way to put it.
And I think both Narayana Health and Aster DM Healthcare are part of this shift.
They are, each in their own way.
Narayana is focused on making healthcare affordable and efficient.
Reaching more people.
And Aster is raising the bar.
With specialized care, technology,
sustainability,
the whole package.
So they're both pushing the boundaries.
They are.
But from different directions.
Like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, and both are necessary.
Absolutely.
To create a better healthcare system for everyone.
And their success shows us something really important.
What's that?
This new model of healthcare.
The one that balances affordability.
Sustainability.
It's not just a dream.
Right.
It can actually work.
That's really encouraging.
It is.
It gives me hope for the future of healthcare.
Yeah.
Not just in India, but everywhere.
If they can do it, maybe others can too.
Now, it's not going to be easy.
No, it won't.
There are still a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
Like what?
Making sure people in rural areas have access to the same care as people in cities.
Right.
Making sure the quality of care is consistent everywhere.
Yeah.
Dealing with the shortage of healthcare workers.
That's a big one.
And figuring out the financial side of things.
It's a constantly changing industry.
It's like trying to climb a mountain while juggling flaming torches.
A good analogy.
But Narayana Health and Aster DM Healthcare have shown us that it is possible.
They have.
They're proving that with innovation.
Determination.
And a willingness to change things.
We can make progress.
So what can we learn from them?
A lot, actually. They're teaching us that embracing technology is important.
Okay.
Investing in your workforce is crucial.
Right.
And making sustainability a priority.
Not just because it feels good.
No.
But because it makes good business sense.
It's not just about doing good.
Right.
It's about doing well by doing good.
Exactly.
It's understanding that a successful business is one that helps make society healthier.
And that's what we've seen in this deep dive.
Yeah.
The Indian healthcare system is changing in a big way. And Narayana Health and Aster DM Healthcare are leading the way.
It's exciting to watch.
It is. There's so much innovation happening.
So much potential.
And so much at stake.
And what's really interesting is that there's no single right way to do it.
Narayana and Aster have taken different approaches.
Yeah, they've used their own strengths and strategies.
To achieve amazing things.
So it's not about copying them exactly.
No.
It's about learning from them.
Adapting their best practices.
and keep pushing the limits of what's possible.
That's the key.
It's a team effort.
It is.
Healthcare providers, policymakers, investors, and patients
All working together.
to create a better healthcare system for everyone.
That's a great way to sum it up.
Thanks for taking us on this deep dive.
That's been my pleasure.
It's been really insightful.
I'm glad to hear that.
And to everyone listening,
Yeah.
keep exploring, keep asking questions.
And keep diving deep. We'll see you next time.